We're now going to look at some sample drawings in AutoCAD Electrical. Now the good thing is when you load up AutoCAD Electrical, you do get some demo projects available from Autodesk. You'll notice I'm in the Extra Library Demo project, this one here, and I've got the drawing demo3.dwg open right now. Now, because these are Autodesk demos, they will be predominantly using the JIC electrical standard, which is the main American Imperial standard. Now, we're looking at a sample drawing. As you can see, there's various motors. There's also regulators, pressure switches. There's a reservoir there, a filter, and a pressure regulator, and so on. And what we've got here is obviously some sort of pressure and regulator situation going on where a tank gets filled up, and it is obviously controlled by way of the filters and the regulators. What we're going to do here is just look at how this drawing works in general. We're not actually going to do any electrical design, we're just going to look at how the drawing is actually set up. Now if I zoom in real close here and look at this little central point here and I hover over it, you'll see it's all one object. It's what is called a block reference. Most of the symbols and the electrical symbols that you bring into a drawing in AutoCAD Electrical will be block references from a symbol library. So if I click there, it selects, but if I double click it, what will happen is I'll actually get some information come up asking me to edit that block definition. Now you'll notice this is a WD dot block, so if I OK that now, what will happen is I can edit that, and you can see now it's opened up the block editor. Now I'm going to close the block editor. We don't actually need to go into any more depth there, but you can see that those blocks are created like that to allow you to use them as symbols. You'll notice if I hover over the tank, can you see it's all a block reference there? And if I just click on it once, it highlights. What I can do there is I can right click and you'll see that I get all this information here where I can edit the component. Now this technology has come from Autodesk Inventor, and the nice thing about this is I can just hover and look, I can move around, and what's really nice is you get like this kind of blue flashlight kind of environment that floats around each of the settings. Can you see that? It's a really nice tool to use. So I can move the component there, I can align it, I can edit it, and so on. I can go to attributes. So I can move the attribute, hide the attribute, rotate it. It's a really, really clever system. Obviously when I move away and click like that, it all disappears. But the lovely thing is I can just click like that, right click, and it's all there on the right click ready for me to work on. It's a really, really nice function of AutoCAD Electrical. So that's how we're going to be working in AutoCAD Electrical in a typical drawing. Now you'll notice I've done no electrical design there at all. What I'm trying to get you to grips with here is just an overview of what you're going to be doing and how it all works. We are still in the same Demo 03 drawing in the Extra Library Demo project that comes with AutoCAD Electrical. Now I did mention in the previous example about how this was a tank arrangement with a reservoir using regulators, and now I've moved across slightly. You'll see there's a pressure gauge and a pressure regulator. It's a pneumatic circuit controlling a pneumatic component. Now, I don't know what component that is, but you can see there that the reservoir is where the pressure builds up. The pressure is regulated by the circuit and thus gives a readout on the pressure gauge. So those of you in the know, you might have recognized that from the previous example, but I'm telling you now that's what this is. Now, looking at the system, obviously there's various icons, as I said, various blocks and components and symbols that you bring into the drawing itself. How do you bring those in? Well, what you do is you use the schematic tab up here on the ribbon, and you'll notice we've got an insert components panel. So if I hop over to the insert components panel here, and I've got icon menu, and I click on icon menu, what will happen is I get the option to insert anything from this massive range of components. Now, as I said, we work with different standards in AutoCAD Electrical. I've got the JIC schematic symbols come up. Now these are part of my library in AutoCAD Electrical, and what I'm going to do is go to push buttons. I want a push button, and I'm just going to go for a regular push button NO like that and bring it into the drawing. Now the lovely thing is I can just hover anywhere like that, and I can just drag and drop it into any part of the wiring loom of that circuit. So if I go there and click, it inserts it on that midpoint. I get the option now to tag that particular push button. So the component tag there is PB1. I'm just going to leave that as it is and just OK it. Now, if I go OK repeat, what that allows me to do is obviously repeat and put another push button in. And I can keep using that OK repeat to repeat push buttons for as many push buttons as I need to insert in the drawing. In this case, I only want the one, so I click on OK, and there's my PB1 in the system. Now I'm just going to pan upwards slightly, and I'm then going to hover there, select it, right click, and as you can see there, I can edit the component. If I click on Edit Component there, it takes me back to that dialog box. That right-hand system is just so cool. It's brilliant. As I said, it came from Autodesk Inventor, and it works brilliantly for AutoCAD Electrical. So I'll just OK that. I don't actually need to change that push button at all. But you can see how that works and how that system is just so quick and so easy. Imagine having to draw all of these valves and switches and reservoirs and filters using manual AutoCAD methods. You'd have to draw all the lines and the diamond shapes, like I've shown you in previous exercises with some of the drafting settings and tools. It would take a month of Sundays, to use a phrase. So as you can see, the idea being AutoCAD Electrical makes you much, much more productive because you have these libraries and editing tools that make your life so much quicker and so much easier.